turkey cam today. So there it is.
Turkey cam. Or does that sound like the flamingos? Do you remember
I remember the flamingos. Yes, I remember very well there. So anyway, back in the studio here.
Morning.
And we are going to do a shortened version of not the news this time. So I'm going to
It's a mini version.
It's a mini version, right? So we're going to try a few things new on this podcast there, but we're going to see if you start talking, if the camera switches to you automatically.
Okay. I'm talking. Is it working?
It worked.
Yay!
It automatically switched.
Can I give you your flowers right now?
Why?
Because I don't think I'm giving you the credit you deserve for this whole setup, because it is very impressive. I do just kind of show up.
No. You know, every single time we do this, something goes wrong on my part there.
But you figure it out.
But I'm trying to figure it out.
You do.
So what I'm learning is auto switch now does not go from the microphone active. It just relays through our 4 cameras here. So I'm turning auto switch off.
Okay.
Going to go to that there. Come on.
Listen, our people get it.
Right. Gotta figure it out as we go.
Y'all get it.
Stop auto switch. All right, there you go. So Nikki, we're back on the camera there.
So
you're giving me credit there. Thank you.
I am.
What?
No, you
feel
deserve
uncomfortable.
It. I know. I'll stop. Last week was fun with Chris.
Yes. That was great with Chris. I heard some feedback. I got a message there. Don't call Nikki Bikini Nikki. That's degrading to her. She's much better than that. So if you took any offense to me calling you Bikini Nikki,
not.
It was kind of, I thought it might be a compliment.
No,
right?
it is. Yes, it is. Thank you. But thank you for people.
Someone defending you.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Right.
I will always take that against Neil.
And also the audio, I went back and checked everything. Chris sounded farther away because I didn't check with my ears and move it. I should have moved his microphone. These microphones are very proximate, sensitive, all that stuff. Anyway,
it's okay. I got some feedback too.
Yes.
People said that I didn't let Chris talk enough, that I would just say, yeah, but I'm an active listener. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, no, I thought we were pretty generous with that side.
I think it sounded worse because his mic was so soft and I was like agreeing and active listening. Yeah. And so it sounded like I was interrupting him.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's absolutely. So this week, let me start in the past because we are actually recording a shortened version of this on Tuesday.
Yes, it's your fault.
And it is my fault. And the reason we don't have a guest as we project forward now is because I had scheduled a guest for Thursday. But Thursday, I was in Florida. So today, when this airs Friday, I'm down in Florida getting ready for the Ironman there.
Can we talk about that?
Do you want to talk about that?
I think it's absolutely wild what you're doing. And I came over and he said, gosh, I've been so busy. I ran 14 miles yesterday. I was like, that's your whole day. You can't get anything done because you're running. And then I said, is that fun? And you said no. And I said, why are you doing it?
It's fun. It's satisfying, right?
Satisfying.
I mean, so I ran a half marathon yesterday. That was my final long run. This morning before you got here, I swam 2 miles. That was my final long swim. And then tomorrow with Sean Opria and his son Hunter, my trainer Hunter, we're going over to the air park down at Cornelius Fort, and we're going to ride for an hour. And then we're going to throw our bikes on the back of the cars. We're going to jump in and start heading down to Florida to get ready for this thing.
This is insanity.
It is insanity.
And this is take 2 because the first time
didn't work out.
You guys were down there and they canceled it.
Well, they canceled the swim.
Yeah.
And then the 40-mile-per-hour winds. We were just like, why risk getting hurt in 40-mile-per-hour winds on a bike, especially when these aero bikes, you got to be down low, right?
Yeah, no.
And I didn't.
When the professionals are saying, no, I'm good.
Yeah, when all the elite racers are walking away, you have to walk away and do that
for
too.
Sure.
So,
plus you get a trip to Florida now.
Plus a trip to Panama City Beach, which is always absolutely wonderful there. So anyways, 70.3. So it's a 1.2 mile swim. It's a 56-mile ride. And then it's a 13.1 mile run after that. And so we'll see what happens.
How long is that going to take you?
So that's funny. I ran 13.1 yesterday in 2 hours and 10 minutes. I rode 56 miles the day before in under 3 hours. And then the swim is going to be about 40 to 45 minutes, I think.
Oh, so the swim is the shortest.
The swim is definitely the shortest there. So I think if I go under 6 hours, that's going to be good for me.
Yeah. What's the hardest?
I don't know. See, that's what's crazy is I've never done the open water swim yet.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the hardest.
But your adrenaline apparently kicks in, and you're trying your hardest, and you need to pace yourself, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at swimming. That's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, you've always swam.
But the 56-mile ride, I think, is going to be the way you have to budget your strength through that.
Okay.
There, but 56 miles hunched over on that bike.
Yeah.
is a lot.
Probably not a lot of downhill either, I'm guessing.
Panama City Beach, no, maybe a dune or two or something like that, but no. And the forecast has rain,
of course,
through all 4 days. So like we'll have to see what happens there anyway. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Back in the studio, and someone else also commented at the end of your podcast with Chris. You all didn't turn to the camera and say bye, bye, bye.
We let you down. I'm sorry.
We totally we blew that. We blew
did
the interview
say
there.
It's going to be May, which I was very appreciative of.
It was a lot of fun having him. He's such a great dude there.
Yes.
And we got some other guests lined up now. So we're going to start having guests on each week on Not the News. And that's going to be a lot. I think that's going to be kind of the way the show develops.
Yeah. People are like, what?
There on out.
People have asked me, like, what is it? And I'm like, well, it's not the news. Like,
it's definitely not the news.
Serious.
It's not the news.
And people have asked us to do some headlines, which I'm fine with doing because I think we are inherently interested in the news. And I think people who listen to this are as well. But I don't want to do it like we used to do it because that did not bring me joy. That actually made me sad. The majority of what we talked about.
I agree. And I didn't like 20 seconds seemed like a long period of time. And I don't like 20 seconds anymore.
So true.
I like talking about things. I like
okay, you need to explain that.
A little bit.
Because 20 seconds, we lived our life in 20-second VOs. So we would have a video that was 20 seconds long, and you would be expected to tell a whole story in that, you know, the facts. And I agree, like, with that. I hate it when stories are too long. When you're in the newscast, like, it's got a boom, 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 boom. But it's also kind of sad that we have to take something complicated and sad and get it down to a 20-second
20-second story. Right. And I think it goes above our head that every single story we do affects people that are involved in that story, right?
Yeah.
And you distance yourself from that effect.
Yeah, desensitize.
That cause effect, desensitize it. But if you watch the newscast, it's what happens when you try to be everything to everyone. When you try to be all things to every person, you end up being nothing to everyone. Which
is a good lesson for us for Not the News. So we need to niche down.
We need to definitely focus on stuff there too.
Yeah.
But bringing up headlines every once in a while, not bad. I mean, you and I were just talking about the Dave Portnoy stuff that happened this week. And Dave, he's here in town a lot. I was watching him do some slices of downtown.
Yeah.
This week,
his pizza thing. My love for Dave Portnoy.
Right.
I love what he has done for dogs, especially pit bull welfare. His love of Miss Peaches, my love of Miss Peaches. I think I wore a Miss Peaches sweatshirt on our first episode.
It was, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And then Pete, he's so wealthy. He could easily go and get this like purebred perfect dog. And he chose to fly his private plane down to Atlanta and get this dog that was bred a senior female pit bull. And that's just ultimate good guy energy.
Right. And Miss Peaches has repaid him in love and, all sorts of great stuff. And she's become representative of a whole movement there of adopting senior dogs and
raising
abused
money.
Dogs and raising money for it. So
they're amazing.
It's great when you have a platform and then you can turn around and use it for good things.
Yeah.
And hopefully when our platform is built, we will be able to do the exact same thing.
Sure.
So we'll have to wait and see on that.
But Dave was in the, I feel like he's always in the news because he's always doing something funny or semi-controversial.
He's just never afraid to jump in front of a microphone and a camera and just kind of spout off on his opinion and stuff like that. And you can take it, you can leave it. It's the great thing about this whole internet thing.
Yeah.
You can always turn away from it. You don't have to watch.
I love anyone who is unapologetically themselves. Layla. Like Layla. She is unapologetically herself.
When we're not talking to her, she gets very... So if you watch the podcast and we're looking down a lot there, then please understand it's because we're trying to make it seem like we're talking to the dog so that she doesn't bark there.
Yeah, she gets offended. But anybody like Dave who is unapologetically themselves and just doesn't try to change who they are to please other people, I'm on board. Even if I don't agree with you, I respect the hell out of that.
All right. And Dave, if you're in Nashville, whenever you're in Nashville, you just reach out to us and we'd love to have you on the show there because there's a lot of questions I have for Dave that I don't think he gets asked very often there. So I would love to do that with him. Out of everyone, Neil, I do think that you would probably surprise him, especially because of his feelings with the media right now. And rightfully so. You saw that video, what he dealt with. Yeah. Yeah. How many times, it was shocking, but it wasn't. Yeah. When he was showing, I was like, yeah, that checks out. Yeah. What did you think? Absolutely. Everything. I thought the way he handled the whole situation, at first, like the temper, you saw the temper, and at second, like rethinking it and going, you know what? No, I'm not going to be them. I'm going to be bigger than this.
I wish he hadn't shut it. I wish he hadn't slammed the laptop. Because he could have continued to school and he was on the right side
on the
of history.
ABC interview.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we were talking about see, this
What
thing
are you talking about?
I was talking about the sign that got hung in Philadelphia.
Oh, that too.
That was brutal.
So that was the reason for the interview.
That was the reason for the interview there. So, I think there's lots of times that people that are being interviewed by the media want to just shut the laptop like that too. So I get it. I think what happens a lot too, and you know this, is that you interview and you come across one way and then you watch the story on the air and it's not representative of what you were trying to, the point you were trying to make. And
that's why a lot of people don't trust the media.
Right.
But I think the most frustrating part for him was, at least it would have been for me, what happened in his bar. I mean, David's Jewish. First of all, we need to stand with all Jewish people and we need to support them, right?
I think it's no brainer.
Absolutely. But especially him as a Jewish business owner. And then to have that happen in his bar, I can't imagine how devastating that was. And he tried to stand up and do the right thing and figure out who did this, spewing this hate speech. And then when local news reaches out and says, yeah, let's do a story on this, he's like, absolutely. Like, right. This is an important story that needs to be told. But they did the bait and switch on him, and they're trying to get him for a toxic workplace. Like, come on. If that is a story, absolutely. Like, let's talk about that another day. But we're talking about hate speech.
Right.
Come on.
It was 100% bait and switch there.
It's really sad, honestly.
And you could have talked about a million things related to the story and stuff like that, but you went there.
And what the reporter should have done is she should have said, hey, listen, I know we're talking about this right now. It's not the time or place, but I'd really like to get your time on something else I'm working on.
Yeah.
He probably would have been like, sure, let's go.
I think 100% right. It was just the way it was done, the way it was.
The trickery.
The trickery.
You don't always have to have a gotcha moment.
No.
Most people are good people.
Most people are good people there. So, yeah. All right. So what's funny with you this week? What's going on with Andy? How did she make us laugh this time? She's almost done with school.
Oh my God, I know.
I know. She looks like a big girl.
Do you know what she said to me? I picked her up in the car. I don't know if I should say this.
Say it.
I picked her up and I was like, hey, baby girl, do you have a good day at school? She was like, yeah. And the second thing she said to me was, Mommy, what does mean? And the word that she said was a very bad word.
What's it start with?
You know what it starts with. She said, what does mean? And I said, Andy, where did you hear that? And she wouldn't tell me. And she immediately got quiet. I was like, you're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. Just know that is a very bad word. And sometimes adults say it and they shouldn't say it. And if you hear it, you should tell people that they shouldn't say it, especially around you. But I could feel like she immediately felt ashamed. And I was like, you're not in trouble. But it was just hilarious that I picked her up from her sweet little Christian school. And that was the first thing that she asked me.
Oh, that's hilarious. Carly got back from Austria.
Oh, she's already back?
She's back. Well, she was there for 6 days there. And her sister gave us such a sweet response when I said, are you glad she's home? She's like, yeah, I really missed her. So that was kind of sweet, too. So she's already getting built up about her being away college next year, right? So she's going to be at UT Knoxville. And
she's going to be in that house by herself.
That's going to be a different situation for her there. So I remember that when my two brothers were off at college. And all of a sudden it was just me and Theo at home. And
different dynamic.
The whole place, everything changes there. So
Audrey can use this to her advantage, though.
And she will.
She should.
She 100% will.
Yeah.
There, Turkey Cam, real quick. Whenever I didn't have it on there, people were saying, "Where's Turkey Cam?" So that's Turkey Cam right there. But now that we're breeding, now that we're nesting season, they're around only twice a day. So
when I pulled up to your house, I noticed that there were none in your front yard, but they were actually just sitting in
across the street.
But they weren't walking. I've never seen a turkey just like sit like a chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, like they all sit along the back fence here too, and it's the funniest looking thing. I mean, they're a big old turkey sitting on the fence, and it's like, what in the world is going on over here?
It is crazy.
So anyway, we have the turkey cam there, but
okay. So daughter back from Austria. My daughter has a potty mouth. What else? You're going to.
I'm going to be in Florida when this airs, so I'm going to abuse myself. Carrie's close to opening up K-Butte Studio down in Wedgwood, Houston. So
this is so exciting.
We got the state approval. We're working on the insurance and all the. I mean, you really have to dot the I's, cross the T's with this stuff. And I've had a call with a person who runs another med spa type business, and they're going to walk me through to make sure I did get everything. So that will be kind of a confidence call for me. But no, all the blood, sweat, and tears, and more tears than anything else, it's finally happening, and it's so great.
Be so worth it.
And the space that she's created, this Korean aesthetic space, right?
I love it.
Is amazing. However, as all things Carrie, she found a couch that she loves.
Yeah.
But that means the 2 chairs that we bought
don't work.
Had to go back to TJ Maxx Home Goods last night.
Okay, well.
So the new couch gets there today, and hopefully we can find some pedestal chairs to go with it that will
Well,
match
you know,
up
if
well,
anybody can do it, it's Carrie and Stacy. Can we give Stacy Advani a shout out?
Give her a shout out. She and Carrie have been working hard on this one, but she's working with you too.
She's doing my house. She's doing Carrie's business. Stacy Advani is one of my best friends. I love her dearly. She's top 10 favorite people on the planet and
Does
good
she actually
people.
have a company, or does she just go by her?
She just started her company.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was her first client.
Plug it.
So she's been kind of doing this just because she has impeccable taste.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, hey, are you starting your business? Like, can we be your first client? She was like, yeah. And she has paid for her services tenfold. And my house would not be built without her. She's amazing. And then when you guys were doing it, I was like, you need to call Stacy. Like she gets shit done. And she has. So Advani Designs, if you need.
Advani Designs.
Advani, Advani. Yeah.
And you can either participate with her or just let her roll.
Either way.
She's a boss lady, and she makes sure things good. When she and Carrie are in the studio, it's like they're talking a different language. I can't keep up. So Carrie was kind enough. I have an office as the CFO of her company.
You have an office in the building?
I have an office. It's actually a closet.
That's cute.
I have a closet.
Okay, whatever.
I have a closet, but she's going to wallpaper my office for me.
Love it.
As the CFO.
Yeah.
And I'm getting used to the workspace there, but no one knows I'm there when I'm there because
that's probably for the best.
I am in a coat closet. Yeah. I was like 30 years of broadcasting to end up in the bright lights to end up a closet creature there. So whenever I do Zoom calls now, I can tell they're on the Zoom call and they're kind of doing the look in the camera and looking at my background. I'm like, it's a closet. It's a closet, okay?
Just put a plant behind you for a little depth of field, you know?
Right. I'm not going to do those fake backgrounds. Remember we do those Zoom interviews with people with the palm trees blowing in the background. And
they're in a penthouse. You're like, come on.
And if they move their head too quick, you'd see the bookshelves behind them and stuff like that. So
okay, so we need to work on your office.
I need to work on the office. But it's going to become a podcast studio, too, because she's going to start doing a podcast
Which she should.
Yeah.
She has so much knowledge.
Yeah, she should.
When she gets to talking about what she knows, you're just like, oh my gosh, I need to be writing this down.
Well, I'm reading a book right now called Med Spa Confidential about these two women that started. One was an attorney, one was a plastic surgeon.
Okay.
And they started these aesthetic spas, and it's a story about how they created the spa there. And it's fascinating, but what's really more fascinating is everything in that book Carrie already does. And I'm like, Carrie, you realize that everything that you're like, you get it? Okay. So she's pretty cutting edge in that stuff.
She really is. And bringing in the Korean beauty aspect.
And did you see the mask video that we put online the other day?
No, I don't think
so. She has the red light mask, but it's a Korean red light mask.
And I want to use it.
It's not just red lights, all the different spectrums, but the mask itself looks very much like a Korean war mask.
Yes.
And it's when you first see it, it's a little bit like.
Can you show it to me before we leave?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to use this.
If you go to my Instagram, it was, it's the story's expired by now, but.
I'll post a video of it on my Instagram. We're going to do this when we leave, and I'm going to put it on.
Well, the mask is at the store. So
dang it.
Yeah, but I'll show you a picture of it. But it's really, it's cool stuff. And she's really kind of narrowing down the services that she's going to offer to make sure it's right for her clientele there. So
she doesn't do anything unless it's very intentional, which I appreciate.
Right.
We could learn a thing or two about that.
We could learn a thing or two. But now that she's making her own calls, so she's deciding what product line she's doing. She's deciding her price point. She's deciding when you come in, you're going to get the service, but then she's developed with a Korean company a custom mask that you'll put on. So after your treatment, you'll put this mask on to help your face start healing from whatever treatment.
That's amazing.
And it's just,
there's nothing like that.
Yeah. And no, it's top of the line. It's all that salmon stuff.
Do it. Salmon sperm?
Yeah.
What? Can you do that? You said salmon. Do that again. What did you do?
I said salmon,
Why can't you just say sperm?
I don't know. Anyway.
It's not a bad word.
It's just weird when she's rubbing the stuff in your face. It's like, what is the... Like, honey, this is awkward.
So
okay?
let's dive into this. So you're rubbing salmon sperm on your face?
She is.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Used.
Your skin does look great.
No, here's the thing. I gotta go over the camera.
Salmon sperm. Did not think we were going to go there today.
When you are in the pool water day in and day out, and now it's the outside pools at the Y, stuff like that, it kills your skin. So the fact that I'm even halfway reasonable at this point without being blotchy and falling off my face is a tribute to that stuff. It's real.
It's true.
I mean, it's real. That and the peptide work on the skin stuff is all kind of coming together.
And we're going to get somebody to come on the show and talk about peptides because I find this fascinating.
Yeah. Maybe I'll ask Dr. Naomi Pascal to come on because she's really kind of an authority on that stuff. Yes. I know a few people actually. That's surprising when you bring it up who knows all about peptides and who doesn't.
It's almost like when you bring it up, you're like, are you cool? Can we talk about this? And then when they're like, oh, yes, you're like, let's go.
Right. It's kind of that it's just coming out of this gray area, right, in medicine. But we talked to a manufacturer out in California this week with the pharmaceutical grade stuff. And just to hear the processes that they have in place and the different manufacturing protocol that they do for each of the peptides and stuff like that was pretty fascinating conversation.
Okay, actually. I'm so in. Because I want to do it, but I'm a little bit apprehensive.
And I think smart.
Yeah.
You should be apprehensive.
Yeah. Well, I just think, I don't know, at my age, like my hormones are all over the place, and I just want to talk to this professional before I start injecting things in my body. But I'll do it. Inject anything in my face. So, like, why not?
Right.
I'm ready for the...
Inject first, ask questions later.
Yes. I'm ready for the salmon sperm. I would like that very much.
I'll make sure I let the salmon know that you're ready for the salmon. Whoever... I can't remember the name of it, even though I have to do all the purchase orders and everything. But, and I think it's a block or something. But the stuff is real. The stuff is very real. And the stuff that Carrie's also working on that I can't talk about right now that will be incorporated into the practice is truly exciting. Yeah. It's really kind of cutting edge stuff there. So
I'm ready.
She's going to do it. And not a moment too soon.
No.
We need that place open. We need that place running, right?
I know.
You think it's going to take this long. Well, take this long, double it, and then add some time to that, and that's how long it takes to set it up.
And then add all of these valleys and peaks and rivers and all these things you have to go through.
Yeah, and luckily I have some friends that work in some pretty important places that were able to help push this through at rapid speed. I would never say their name because it was a huge favor to us there. But
I mean, you gotta know people. I mean, I found that out in building this house. I had to make a couple of phone calls, and they were like, "Oh no, this is logical. We understand what you're saying."
Well, I'll tell you what, you got out of Nashville just at the right time. With the you still aren't.
You are obsessed with these property taxes.
I just got my assessments in the mail. They're sitting at my drawer from Vivian. Vivian sent them to me. Vivian, I love you, but my gosh, Vivian Wilhoit, she's the.
Oh yes.
So let me just put it this way. If someone came to me today and offered to buy both my house and the house rental I have in North Nashville for the exact price that they assessed, the city assessed at, I would sign the paper in front of them.
So let's do that.
So, but do you understand what I'm getting at by saying that?
Happen.
I'm just saying that they absolutely assessed my house at the peak of the market where we are not right now. And I could not sell my houses for what the assessed value from the city is right now.
It kind of screws you, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And it increases. My North Nashville property, the property tax assessment went up 40%.
40?
And my Oak Hill property, it went up 30%. So it seems to me like the North Nashville folks are getting hit a little bit harder on this stuff, which is probably not what you want. District 1 is not where you want to have 40% increases in property tax. Anyway, that's just me. You know what? I'm probably wrong about all this stuff. I'm probably way off base making these kinds of complaints, but it's real. I'm seriously considering. No, I don't want to move out of Nashville, but it was a hit.
Yeah.
So
well, hopefully we get it figured out. I mean,
and I'm obsessed with it. Okay,
you are,
and you're going to hear more people talking about it.
I get it. I'm just glad that it doesn't affect me right now.
I wasn't watching the news this morning. I never do anymore. But I saw a live car over by the WSM antenna
Yeah.
at 65 in Moore's Lane. So I was kind of curious about that. But that was last Tuesday, and that was a long time ago. So we are on Friday and talking in the future with no guest on our show because I thought we were recording Thursday, not realizing that I wouldn't be in town on Thursday. So I'm an idiot. Still an idiot.
It's okay. You know what? We're going to get it together. I'm going to give you some grace this time because you are putting your body through the ringer. And we're all rooting for you in this race. You're going to kick butt. And then we're going to get back on track.
When are we going to do dad jokes next?
I was not prepared for dad jokes.
I'm not prepared for dad jokes myself.
Because I feel like I really fumbled those last time.
Don't use AI for dad jokes.
Yeah, no, those are
Let me
really
just
bad.
say, an AI computer is not funny.
Not funny.
Like
at all.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
These are bad AI dad jokes. We go to the source.
Yeah.
Get some good AI.
Yeah, I'll call my dad.
Get some good, not AI. Yeah. Call your dad.
Your
dad is good dad jokes.
Dad would be a good guest on the pod.
I think he'd be terrific.
Yeah.
And you know the time of year that we need to get him in here too, because it was something very important to you that we mentioned on air each year. The attack,
Beirut, bombing
in Beirut, and I think that would be very appropriate to have him in
we
here.
should have,
although it's a hard subject for him to talk about, so maybe that was a bad call on my part.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We should have him on twice. Once just to talk.
Just talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a second time for maybe veteran stories.
Okay.
Yeah, we could have my mom on too.
I wouldn't want to put him in a bad situation there, so he's too good a guy.
Who knows what my mom will say? She'll probably tell all my secrets.
Your mom is awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Your mom is a force of nature.
She is.
She is. I understand why you girls turned out the way you did, because your mom is, she's something special.
Okay, good. So we're getting some guests lined up. I think it's good to have some personal guests. People, we almost like keep a gate up of what we want people to see.
Well, it's like we know a lot of people that are familiar faces in town. We also know a lot of people that aren't familiar faces in town, but they have great stories there too. So I have a lot of friends that are retired detectives and stuff like that, just because that's the way the business used to be. Like you had to know these people or you didn't get any stories. And I want to bring up cases that now they can talk about that they couldn't back then,
Yeah.
And so I always find the true crime podcasts and stuff very interesting to me. And if it was true crime and is in your backyard and you can talk about those things, I would be very interested in doing that.
Let's do
some of those. But we'll narrow down our focus for Not the News. We're still working on the bigger project. And I think people need to know that we have a big project. It's just, this was so big, it's going to take a while to get rolling uphill there. So even Layla's tired of us talking about it. She left. She's like, I
don't believe y'all.
I'm done. Y'all keep talking this big game, but I don't see any results just yet.
What was that accent?
You
sounded like Theo Vaughn a little bit.
I have no idea what it was right there.
Let's get him on. I love him.
I would love to. And he's in town, so I mean, it's like not like we'd have to have a far drive.
He's so funny.
For Theo. Yeah, he's so good. And I just like his interviews. Everything. I like. More than his comedy routine, I like the interviews that he does. I find he has such insight and stuff.
Disarming people.
Yeah, he asks a question like, I didn't see that one coming.
No.
And then it totally puts these people in a different state of mind.
That's
and he gets things out of people that I don't think a lot of people do right there. So, yeah, Theo Vaughn would be a good one to get on.
We're just manifesting all these names. Anything else we need to talk about?
I think I need to get ready for this triathlon, so it's going to take me a little while to get my wetsuit on and off. Hopefully they have strippers at the end of the swim.
Oh, yes, they have strippers. We talked about this. Okay.
Yes.
Just please don't get video of the strippers. We don't need that on our feed.
Well, did I mention on the podcast what we were going to do?
I don't know.
Because the strippers are the people that pull your wetsuit off when you're done. Okay,
they're not actual.
They're not strippers.
Yes.
But Sean, Oprah, and I were going to tape $1 bills all over our body. So after the swim, when they did strip us, that doesn't make sense.
No, because
you don't know that. You don't know.
No, I do. But the dollars are paper, so they're going to be wet, and your body will be wet. So when you take them off, you're just going to have like wet paper all over your body.
Probably.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
All right, that's not good. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But anyway, so next week we're back. We'll put a guest down here with us to make it interesting instead of just us.
We do already have one booked.
We do have one booked, so we will be back with that. But we'll keep this one in at 30 minutes and short and sweet. And we hope you guys have a terrific week. And Nikki, it's fun doing this and having folks kind of reach out once again. So
it means a lot. Somebody stopped me in a grocery store the other day and just said, "Hey, really enjoying the show." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you!"
Right,
like. Means more than y'all know. So thank you.
It really does. It does. So this time we're going to turn to this camera right here.
Okay. Go. Wish Neil good luck. Root for him.
Okay. And we're going to do the Chris goodbye that we messed up last time. Ready?
Okay.
Bye, bye, bye.
You got to do the hands.
Oh, bye, bye, bye.